But to be honest, Ethiopia is worse. Don't tell anyone. Okay. Yeah, but they say you only appreciate something once you have lost it. And that is an unfortunate reality about our life. Today, I'm here to share with you some of the things that I desperately miss about Ethiopia, because as I continue living and reflecting on differences between living in Ethiopia, and to be specific, Addis Ababa, and living in Nairobi, Kenya, there are definitely some things that I'm like, oh my god, I really miss this part about Ethiopia. And without further ado, let's get into it. Anyway, before we get into it, my name is Queen Desta. For those who are new, Desta means happiness, and please subscribe to this channel. Before I used to live in Ethiopia, but now I'm back in my country. But still, I just want to appreciate the time I had in Ethiopia by telling them that actually don't complain too much about your country, and also appreciate some of the things. And that's why I found it right for me to share with you guys some of the things that I will for sure, or I am for sure already missing about Ethiopia. So the first thing has to be cost of living. So cost of living in Kenya compared to the cost of living in Nairobi is like such a difference. Of course, it all depends with individuals, but based on myself and how I think and how I've seen my money being deducted, and as well as how many other people have accepted on this concept, from whether you're visiting or whether you're living in the country, according to me, Kenya is more expensive than living in Ethiopia. So for sure, I have been experiencing a lot of this difference when I go shopping in Nairobi. Oh God, I have to spend like a certain amount compared to when I was living in Ethiopia. Maybe I should do extensively with the whole comparison of rent, food. Like I think some time back I did a video of cost of living in Kenya as well as cost of living in Ethiopia. I'm gonna link those in the description box down below. As much as those were like 2 years ago, and because of the exchange rate of the economy and the currency and just cost of living going up, I know all that has changed, but it also gives you a perspective. Now, also the currency has greatly influenced how I see and view the two countries, such that dollar in Ethiopia is a different sentence compared to the dollar in Kenya because of all the money things that go on there. People don't like it when I mention those matters. But anyway, I have for sure missed going out and spending just $10 on the max, or taking a cab and it's not as expensive, exploring, being able to like visit different places with more affordable budgets and stuff like this. And as much as also I would say there are some pricey places in Ethiopia, but you also have the options of living it on the minimum. But that is something I really miss, not spending my money as much. But it is what it is. We have to adjust to the cost of living here in Kenya. The second thing that I miss, that is in relation to the cost of living but in a different perspective, now not based on money and stuff like this, is less decision paralysis. So in Kenya you have like all these different options of what to do, different options of what to buy, different options of activities, different options of where to visit. For example, Nairobi right now as we speak, especially ever since I was not here for some time, the number of new restaurants that look good, that have like good ambience and all good presentations, and just like, oh, I'm adding that on my to-do list, my bucket list. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go broke in this country. It's just not funny. It's just like so many. And the fact that I also love exploring that side, now I'm even more exploring on teaching myself to cook and to cook good food instead of all the advertisement that you see. That's another thing. I see a lot of advertisement when I'm here in Kenya compared to when I was in Ethiopia. There was less advertisement, or maybe the advertisement was in Amharic, so that way I was able to escape a lot of those advertisements, and that feeds on you needing and desiring to like do things, activities for the weekend. In Addis, I had actually almost done everything. Mention restaurants, mention hotels, mention things to do, concerts. I somehow have attended. Maybe I can't say 100%, but like a good percentage, you know. But here in Nairobi, the list is long, and you have like all these options. Let's even go, for example, to another example. This I even picked it up from an Ethiopian. That when you go to like a supermarket or a grocery store, depending on how you call it, you have like, let's say you want to buy flour, you have like 5-10 kind of things that you should choose on different brands and stuff like this. In Ethiopia, it's more on maybe 2 on the max. You choose and you move on with life. It's a good and a bad thing at the same time for me, because I'm I would lie more on the indecisive side of let me see what are the different options than being like, I'm loyal on this, let's take it. So when someone has already made that decision for me, it makes it easier. So I almost, if I have so many things to decide on, I actually end up not deciding either of anything. So unless it's important. Like for example, if you're telling me we have 10 restaurants that I should choose where I want to go, I'll feel the pressure of wanting to go to all of them, and if I can't go to all of them, then I'd rather not go. But if you're giving me like 3 options, I see all of them, it's very doable, then I'm excited to tick that out of the list. Anyway, that's a whole other concept that I'm like, yeah. If you are a spendthrift in Kenya, all the money will go, because you have like 1 million things that you're gonna find that you can do, you can buy, and all these things. So I miss not being able to be put in places that I have to. Ooh, can we even talk about when you go to like restaurants and the menu is like different kind of things that you have to scroll through the whole booklet and stuff like this. It's good if you like options. I'm not saying I don't like options per se, but I also like not to always have to overthink. And now that we're also talking about menu, it brings me back to the third thing that I desperately, this one is desperation for sure. Like, I miss Ethiopian food, you have no idea, and a good macchiato. So I had like this habit where I would drink macchiato almost every other day, just because I feel like, oh, the queen, you know, she deserves all the good things in this world, and a good macchiato marks as a good thing for the day. Come to Kenya, I actually just got tired of trying the macchiatos, because it's not just almost the same. Or you'll find places they have maybe cappuccino, espresso, stuff like this, like different kind, and not necessarily the same kind of well-made macchiato. That is something I have just, actually I don't even remember now the last time I had a cup of macchiato. You know, I know it's not as important anyway, but I still miss my macchiato. Anyway, talking about food, I'm a big lover of Ethiopian food. Injera is my basic good food, blah 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 blah. That is not the part that I actually miss. In Kenya, you can find places to buy injera, but one time I was like, oh, this is about it. Is this time we order injera, and like in Ethiopia where injera, you could new injera every day, like you buy injera every day. It's just, think about it like bread. You buy bread every day, and you don't have to reuse the bread that remained, in this case the injera that remained. But because you're in Kenya and it's not in abundance, it is limited, you have to reuse the remaining injera for the next like 3-4 days, to a point I'm eating dry hard injera. I'm like, oh, take me back to Ethiopia. But it is what it is. Yeah, I miss injera, like some good fresh injera, some shakla tips, guys, some turbo, some good hangouts. Now, talking about that brings me to the other point, is I miss dancing. Not just dancing, well, I also miss it dancing eskista. And then you'll be like, you can just do eskista in your house. Yes, perfectly, yeah, I can. But what I actually miss is being on the street, dancing, singing, whether it's a religious reason why we're on the streets to sing and to dance, whether it's not religious, it is a country kind of celebration, like maybe Adwa or something like this. I miss such vibes. In Kenya, I've never attended any Kenyan kind of activity like this. Like for example, we have celebrations of like Independence Day, but those ones you just go sit down in a stadium. There's no on the streets, like one road has been closed, and also, can we talk about New Year's? Is about to come in Ethiopia in September, and for sure I'll be like, oh, those would have been a good opportunity for us to set around some fire. I miss like those kind of public things to do. You know, it just makes you feel so free. Remember this time we went for Timket in Gonda, and I cannot forget, I was in the streets. I know nobody, in the midst of like so many people. We are there dancing, rocking to Ethiopia. It was just amazing. I miss this so much, and it's something that I can't necessarily make someone else understand unless you experience it. Or like for example, even let's not go serious kind of public situations. It's just when like once in a while I would decide I'm gonna attend an Orthodox something, maybe celebration of St. George or something, and then you go and you're there with the singing. I miss that. Anyway, the other part that I can't fail to talk about is I miss humans being human, and people living with the care of the next human being. I know someone will not agree with this, but coming from a country that is more independent I mean as an individual, not as more communal compared to Ethiopia, I miss that aspect of being communal, which I also have to say it's a 50-50 thing. It's 50 on I like people appreciating people for being humans and not necessarily just judging based on situations, people inviting others to eat, people kind of being in your business, I miss that. But on the other 50, sometimes you don't, when it's too much for you, you don't necessarily want people to be in your business. So, but now because I'm now enjoying and swimming more in the world where nobody cares most of the time, especially in Nairobi, I feel, I miss some degree of someone caring, of just me bumping into total strangers, starting conversations. Let me tell you a quick short story. I was walking in CBD. You know how like in Nairobi they have like street markets open at night, and I was like, let me see if I can grab something. As I was walking, someone stops me and they're like, hey, I'm a foreigner. He looks very Somali. He's like, I'm looking, I know someone will judge me because of this story, but it's okay. This is my experience, and this is Nairobi as well. So they're talking about, hey, I'm looking for Isli. Isli is like a distance away, not very far, but like, I'm just looking for where I can get a bus to take me to Isli. So I do know where you can get a bus to take you to Isli. But I was not alone. I was with my best friend. My best friend gave me big eyes, and I was like, oh shoot, don't forget you're in Nairobi. Don't talk to strangers. Don't talk to nobody. That's as if it's so crazy how this mentality we have it. Like you'll be minding your business like nobody cares. If anyone, and I was torn between I'm always in new countries and don't know my destination. Should I help them? And being like, let me risk, maybe it's not that bad. But because my best friend was still very Kenyan, she was like, no, don't do it. It's okay, move on with life. Yeah, so that's how I did not help someone, and I don't know if now I feel guilty about it or we should appreciate. I'm not coming here to share a story of how they stole something from me. So it's just like those torn situations. But what I'm saying is I miss the fact that in Ethiopia I never asked for help and someone fails to help me. They only would fail to help me if they don't understand what I am saying. And that's the kind of human interaction that I for sure do miss about Ethiopia. But different countries with different things, there are still other things that I for sure do not miss about Ethiopia. Can I give you one example of things I don't miss about Ethiopia? I know it wasn't about the things I don't miss, but I also don't miss the slow internet. I can't say still I'm experiencing the extreme speed, but I still don't miss the slow speed and the interruption that comes with the internet. And the other thing I don't miss is the power cutout and water disappearing. Power cutout, I know some people will be like, you're Kenyan, you've experienced you get blackouts. Yes, we do. See, when I was in Ethiopia, I experienced so many blackouts that I bought a power bank. But the power bank didn't come to me until, I didn't buy. I was gifted a power bank because of always being off. But when I came back to Kenya to get it, I was not going back to Ethiopia. I have only used this power bank like once, because if power goes off, it's only gonna go for like a few hours, not as much. I know Kenyans also do complain about power cutout, but to be honest, don't tell anyone, okay? Yeah, but I don't know why I started talking about the things I do not miss. Let's go back to the things that I miss. I miss, of course, my friends. I miss the easy, swift kind of life. I miss the vibe in Ethiopia. I miss the dances. Take me to your Dobisinia. I just have so many things that I miss about Ethiopia, and forever Ethiopia will continue to be my home. I also appreciate my name. Thank you. I love being Desta, and I'm teaching Kenyans to call me by Desta. Actually, so many people have adapted to it. You know, Desta is not a common name here. Well, now I'm adjusting to a different story, but Desta is not a common name here, so Damaris is more common in Kenya. But people are taking up Desta, and I love it. When I say people, I mean not online people. Online people for sure do call me Desta, but I mean people in the normal world, and which is amazing. Anyway, guys, I hope you picked a dot or another. Let me know if you've lived in another country and how. I think the most important thing to take from all this is how you can take the things that you appreciated about one country and how you can use it in another country. And also to remind you that in whatever place that you are, as bad as you think it is, there's still something that you're gonna miss about it, or as good as you think it is, you should appreciate it just because you think it's as good. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and the little chit chat. Always remember to create time for the to ignite your soul. Until next time.